When it comes to being frugal and being kind of a minimalist, cutting down on things gives you the opportunity and the flexibility to not only invest more money, but also allows you to really enjoy life versus just having a bunch of stuff that sits in your closets and also your cabinets and really doesn't have much of an advantage. Now, in today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 ways to really save some money by cutting down on some things with the minimalism and also the frugal kind of mindset. Starting with number one, guys, buying only clothes that you need. That is right. When you look at your closets, most of them are just filled with things that you haven't worn in months, weeks, possibly even years, maybe even decades for some of us, that the clothes literally just sit there. A lot of them have tags on them, which means you purchased it with the intent to use, never used it, but only buying clothes when you need them. Now, this, of course, is a very fine line. When it comes to work clothes, you can keep it with a little bit higher of a quality that is going to last versus buying a bunch of things in kind of the quantity of it and then replacing it very, very soon or replacing it on a frequent basis. I've really noticed that if I'm spending more on shoes, if I'm spending more on belts, even the shirts that I wear, guys, if I spend a little bit more money to get the quality, they last for years. I have some polos, I have some pairs of pants that I've had for 5, 6, 7 years that still look pretty good in comparison to some of the things where if you're buying a much cheaper price tag. And also the no shopping challenge, guys. I love the idea of this. This is something that I partake kind of on a regular basis. When it comes to things that I purchase for me personally, it is very, very, very minimal. I mean, I'm probably talking $200 to $300 in a year time for things that I actually purchase for me, as far as clothing, as far as, anything outside of regular expenses. But when it comes to actual purchases, there isn't very many. Second one we look at is spending less money on food because of meal prep. This is another way, guys, that you can do it, and you can do it very, very cheap. If you go through and you meal plan and you meal prep, you can go to the store, you can buy exactly what is on your list, which means you're not doing any impulse buying, you're not buying things at checkout, you're not adding on, some drinks here and there. You are only buying the things that are on your list because you already have a plan. This, of course, can save an exorbitant amount of money. When you look at the normal cost to eat out for a family of 4, they're talking $50 to $75 for a family of 4 to eat out for one meal. That is right, guys. We're not even getting fancy about this. You're talking probably Red Robin, maybe your local Coney Island, runs about $50 or $50 plus for a family of 4, which again is kind of crazy. When you start meal prepping, you can buy some things, and we buy things at BJ's, Costco, Sam's Club, depending where your membership is. You can go in there, you can buy larger things, you can buy larger things on bulk to meal prep and get everything ready. Even when it comes to my kids and sandwiches and having things of that nature, I bring my entire lunch for one whole week on Monday. If it's going to be leftovers, is it soup, is it sandwiches, whatever it is, guys, but all of that money is already spent. All of the food is already prepped, which means I don't have to go out and buy anything. I'm not going out for lunch, which is $12 to $15. I'm not buying drinks in the morning. I'm not going anywhere to spend money because, like I said, guys, I'm pretty frugal with it overall. Now, next one we look at, number 3, is accessories. Now, this is a place where a lot of people spend a lot of money. When you start looking at rings, when you look at jewelries, when you look at watches, when you think of earrings, there's a ton of places that you can add on a ton of accessories, and they rack up, guys. There is a very, very big price tag when you start adding in scarves, shoes, wallet, jewelry, very fun items. But what is the functionality and what is the purpose behind them? Most of them you might wear once, maybe twice, 3 times. Now, having a scarf is good. Having 12 scarves, maybe a little too much overkill, especially if you don't live in a colder climate. But looking at things like wallets for men, my wallet itself, probably buy one about every 10 to 15 years, which is kind of crazy. Looking at my jewelry, I wear my wedding band. I don't wear earrings. I don't wear watches. I don't wear literally nothing else. And again, because it is the pretty frugal mindset that money is spent elsewhere, which works incredibly well. Now, number 4, don't buy things just because they're on sale. This is probably one of the 100% biggest marketing ploys that I see is when you do the end of the year clearance, when you see things on sale. If you go on anywhere on social media, literally from TikTok to Facebook to YouTube, everywhere is going to be selling you something, and everywhere is going to be selling it at a discount off the original price, making your mind and really triggering the impulse, thinking, do I need that? It is not something that is a want, but do I need that? And do I need it now? Do I have to pick it up right now? Because again, that is kind of the way, the methodology that the brain works, that if you see something that was on sale, you'll go ahead and buy it versus do you really need it? Now, what we do generally is we will make a list of items that are on the need list. We'll watch it, we'll shop it, we'll watch it, we'll shop it. Once it gets to an acceptable price, so we kind of mark a price or kind of earmark a price of exactly what we want to pay for it based on discounts, based on rebates, based on anything that we can get off of that item, knowing that it is an item that we want to purchase and we know that item is going to be of quality, meaning that we do wait. There's no impulse purchasing here because we want to make sure that we're getting the most for our money. Number 5, buy practical or multi-purpose items. This is really huge, guys. When you think of things that are absolutely one time or single use, it is something that you need to stay away from. This can be found in kitchen gadgets. This can be found in a lot of different places that literally have one single thing and you can't use it anywhere else. You can also apply this concept to a lot of different things. When you think again of kitchen items, but looking at shoes, looking at clothes, looking at kids' toys, even electronics, you have to make sure that you're going to get the utility out of it is really important, guys. Again, it's not going to be something that you're using for one-time use, or you're not using just a couple times and then you're going to go right back to using it. Or is it an item that you purchase with the intent to use, you never do use it, you never return it, which means it is just sitting there collecting dust, guys. A lot of these things can be cleaned out really quick. Facebook Marketplace, a great place to sell things that are absolutely free to sell, making some extra money on the side and getting rid of those unused items. In general rule of thumb, guys, if you're sitting on it for 6 to 12 months, especially when it comes to toys, when it comes to clothes, 6 to 12 months is really the shelf life. After that, it is time to move that item on. There is someone in need that could definitely use it. If you're going to donate it, Salvation Army, if you're going to sell it through a Facebook Marketplace, making sure again that the shelf life of the item has kind of expired at that point. If it's been a year, 2, 3, 5 years that you've used the item, it is long past and expired for time to get rid of that. Number 6, limiting the number of toys that you buy for your kids. This is massive, guys. Now it is huge. Now looking at Christmas, okay, buying toys, birthdays, okay, buying toys. That's really the earmark or the benchmark that you want to. A lot of people buy toys on the weekends. They get a good grade, they buy a toy. But really with minimalists and with frugality, being really frugal about this is not only having, again, money set aside to invest, to repay debt, to live experience, to have life, but it will also set up your kids with that same mindset that they know when they're getting presents and they know when it is time for gifts, and you can make it special. You can go out with getting them the things that are on their list. But outside of that, guys, there's a massive benefit for kids having fewer toys, which I know it's kind of crazy to think about it, but there has been studies, there has been proof that it really, the kids value the toys they have a lot more when they don't have as many toys. If you look at a child that has 5 toys, playing with 5 different toys, great, that's exactly what it is, versus a child that has 100 different toys, which of those 100 different toys, there's 5 that they play with. That's right, exact same scenario, except in one case, you bought 95 more toys, which that money could 100% go to an MESP program, a 529 program, and those kids will thank you, trust me, 10 times over when you're paying for their college education versus just having toys that are sitting in your basement or in the room or stuffed in a corner. In addition, you don't have to clean them up. If you're not sitting on 100 different toys for a child, they're not stashed everywhere in cabinets. They're not, making a mess of them on a regular basis. If they are playing with them, great. If they're not using them, remember the 6-month rule and it is time to get rid of them. Number 7, be a cord cutter. This actually happened for us a couple years ago. We got rid of our Xfinity cable, $189 a month. That is right, guys. It is insane. Definitely kind of scary at first, especially having children, relying on the channels and relying on the entertainment structure if we are going to watch TV. But overall, guys, probably, in my opinion, one of the best things that we have ever done. And it's funny, getting 1 or 2 streaming services is really all you need. Covers the majority of channels. And now a lot of the streaming services are much cheaper than cable, but a lot of the streaming services are included with other things that you have. For instance, we have Verizon cell phone plan. We pay about $110 a month. Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN are included in there, which is kind of crazy. And then we also do have another service which does include Netflix, and it includes HBO or HBO Max, I think it is, for $10 a month. So overall, guys, we're paying $10 a month. We are getting 5 streaming services for $10 a month. So it's kind of crazy. And again, we cut $189 out of our budget, completely getting rid of cable. It is honestly, again, probably one of the absolute best things that I've ever done. And if you are okay with watching ads, which of course, even cable TV, a lot of them did have ads as well. But if you're okay watching ads, you can get a lot of even the paid movies and TV for free if you're watching the ads that they do have in there. The number 8, consolidating your hobbies or things that you love to do. This again is another thing, guys, that is absolutely huge. Making sure that you're not overspending with your hobby. And remember, there's a difference between a hobby and kind of a side hustle. So a hobby is something you love to do. It brings you enjoyment, 100% absolutely doing it, but it is something that does not generate income. Now, when it comes to a side hustle, this could be a hobby slash income source where if you love to sew, if you love to crochet, if you love to make YouTube videos, it is something where a hobby that you like to do and also earning income kind of turns into that side hustle with something that brings you joy. Me personally, guys, I love doing the financial education piece. Anyone that I can help, and a lot of the comments that I get are, you help me with this, financial planning, saving money is huge for me, guys. When you're starting to, eliminate some debt, get rid of debt, starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel of having a debt-free journey, being able to keep your paycheck when you actually get it, making sure that you are eliminating that debt and investing more than you ever have probably in your life when you eliminate that debt. Now, guys, if you do like the content that I'm putting out there, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. As we get on to number 9, buying higher quality items. This again is bar none. A couple years ago, really had a revelation when it came to buying things that are cheap, such as, shopping at Old Navy, some things at Kohl's, a couple different places where I noticed one, when I washed a lot of the clothing that I bought, didn't wear well after the first wash. So it was pretty much garbage off that. And even longevity wise, you might get a couple months out of there with regular use, buying higher quality items. So I might buy a shirt that is 3 times more expensive, but I keep it in turn for 3 to 5 years, which is kind of crazy. Buying all the basics and owning all the basics has been, again, kind of a game changer when you think of button downs, when you think of having your collared shirts, like your dressier shirts, when you think of having polos, buying probably 10 or 15 of those of a really good quality, you're going to have those for an incredible amount of time, and then you're not replacing them all the time. Now, we also see this when it comes to backpacks, when it comes to school supplies, when it comes to a lot of different things, guys, where if you're buying a cheap, let's say a Walmart backpack, that is going to last, and most of them that we were buying before didn't even last a single school year. We were usually about 3 or 4 months into the school year. Backpack was kind of already garbage because it was a cheaper version of it. But buying a backpack that is quality, we actually bought a JanSport bag. We've had it for a couple years now. A little bit more expensive, but you know what? In turn, the bag is held up. We haven't lost anything. It hasn't ripped, hasn't torn. Made a really big difference when it comes to buying something that is quality versus buying the same thing kind of over and over again. And of course, guys, embracing, reusing, repurposing items. This is it, guys. There is a very practical way for a lot of different items that you can repurpose them, that you can reuse them. And if you're not, guys, go ahead and sell them, move them out the door, get rid of them so you can get items that are of a lot better quality. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think about the tips to save money. And as always, thank you guys for watching.